Many people think that the Kabbalat Shabbat service has been with us for thousands of years. But the Kabbalat Shabbat service, as we know it, really began with the Kabbalists of 16th century Sfat in the north of Israel. And they used to go out into the fields on Friday night towards evening, all dressed in white and full of devotion. And they would go out to sanctify the arrival of the Shabbat with the recitation of special psalms and with singing, rejoicing, special the beautiful mystical poem Lecha Dodi, Come my beloved. that was written by Shlomo Alkabatz, one of the mystical group, mystical circle. And they sang this song to greet the Shekhinah, the feminine aspect of divinity, the Shabbat bride, the Shabbat queen. And they imagined the Shekhinah as a beautiful bride coming up the aisle to the wedding canopy. And they themselves were the wedding party that had come with great joy and spiritual fervor to escort and honor the bride as she goes to meet her supernal spouse. Her supernal beloved. So every week, as we sing the Kabbalat Shabbat, we are walking in their footsteps. As we lift our voice in prayer and in sacred song, and we begin the service tonight with Yedid Nefesh, a song of love and longing for the divine beloved. An appropriate way to begin this special service.
Yedid nefesh al harachamah, Yedid nefesh al harachamah, Meshoch avdecha.
So as we now move into the special Tehillim that we recite as part of Kabbalat Shabbat, I'm going to take you on a different kind of journey. Rather than going through the whole prayers together and usually get a lot of mumbling, I'm going to take one verse from each of the Psalms for you to contemplate. And I'm going to add to that verse a seed thought that expresses the spiritual truth that's in that verse. And that spiritual truth is like an open door that takes you into God's presence. And so, after I recite the verse, and then give you a thought to work with, then we're going to play a nigun. And that nigun is there not for you to just be entertained, but to help you go deeply within your own being. To go beyond the room and everything else you're thinking about, all the thoughts in your mind, all the leftover residue from the week, and to take you into the place of Shabbos. And then in that deep place, you contemplate this truth and let its light fill your being. So we begin with L'chunu Anana, Psalm 95, and it's verse number 6 that I want to give you the verse to contemplate.
Page 15, if you're looking in your Siddur.
Bo nishtachaveh v'nichra'a nivrecha lifnei Adonai Osenu. Oh, come, let us bow down and bend the knee. Let us kneel before the source of all life, before our Maker. In order to pray, we have to realize before whom we are praying. We have to be aware of what an incredible miracle it is that we finite creatures can touch the infinite. That God has reached out across the great abyss between us to open up a pathway for us into the divine heart. And we enter that pathway by bowing our knee, by standing in humility and awe before the source of all life, who is our Maker. And the nigun that we're going to sing, a piyut really, bakasha, in the Sephardic tradition, from Ibn Govriel, says, Kol borei mala umata, all the heavenly creatures and the creatures of this world, Ye'idun, Yagidun, they will testify and proclaim Ke'echad, Kulam Ke'echad, Adonai Echad, Ushmo Echad. God is one. It's not different gods. It's one God, and all the names are really one name. And this is this moment of bowing before God, standing in awe, and realizing the oneness of our life, and the miracle and the blessing and the gift we've been given to actually be aware of that reality and to use our heart and mind to enter into that place of consciousness.
يعيدون يجدون
אדוני אחד ושמו אחד יעידון יעידון כולם כאחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד
Join us.
יעידון יעידון כולם כאחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד יעידון יעידון כולם כאחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד יעידון יעידון כולם אחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד יעידון יעידון כולם כאחד 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 אדוני אחד ושמו אחד יעידון יעידון כולנו אחד אדוני אחד ושמו
So hold on to that place a minute of a world where everyone knows and is aware and experiences that God is one and God's name is one, and that all the names are just one. And from that place we move into Helium 96. Again, we go to verse
Page
number
16.
6.
Sorry, 16.
16, verse 6. Hod v'hadar lefanav, oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Splendor and majesty are before the omnipotent one. Strength and beauty are in the divine sanctuary. So for this verse, I want you to think about the grandeur of God's universe. All the worlds, all the creatures, all the planes of existence and dimensions of life, the galaxies, the solar systems, the heavenly realms, all the heavenly creatures. All the way down to the realm of the subatomic and the quarks and realities can't even begin to imagine. And think about the tremendous beauty and majesty of this divine sanctuary. And imagine all the myriad of worlds and beings that make up God's sacred kingdom. Od v'hadava lefanav, Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Od v'hadava lefanav, Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Hey, lai, 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 lai. Die, 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 die. Hey, I lie, 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 lie. Giddy, die, 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 die. Yo, die, 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 die. Die, lie, 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 lie. Ya, ma, 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 ma. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, 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 nai. Yai, nai, nai, nai. V'hada lefanav, Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. V'hada lefanav, Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Hey, lai, 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 lai. Nine, 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 I don't hear you. Hey, lie, 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 you die, 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 die. Hey, die, 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 die. Die, 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 Hey, oh, Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. V'hada lefanav, Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Hey, nine, 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 nine. Nine, 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 nine. In the nine, 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 nine. Ya ma 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 ma, ya nine, 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 ya nine, 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 ya nine, 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 nine. Oh, v'hada lefanav, Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. And that's a beautiful meditation that you can spend hours on. And what happens as you go beyond your own little world that you live in, the mind expands out further and further, and your whole way of experience and seeing reality changes. Because one hand, you see your own significance, insignificance. Right? One little piece of rock floating through the universe. On the other hand, you realize you're part of a much greater reality, a sacred kingdom that connects billions and billions of worlds and stars and creatures and lives and level of consciousness and beings we can't imagine and worlds we can't imagine. And this moment is one just moment that's a part of eternity. And it's all joined together as one. And every time we hold that thought, then we're bringing that kingdom into this world, making it a reality. We're awakening it in our hearts, in the hearts of everyone around us. And we're bringing that thought form, because our thoughts are powerful, into the world. Now we move on to Psalm 97. Page 17. Before I tell you the verse, I want to tell you a story. There once was a young man, young Jew, who lived in the time of the Baal Shem Tov. And he was looking for a teacher, someone that could make God real for him, bringing to experience something beyond himself. And he went from one famous rabbi to another, but none of them spoke to his heart. And then he heard about the Baal Shem Tov, and he went to his Beit HaMidrash, to his house of study, in Mezebush. You can go today. It's there, still filled with his presence. And when he walked into the house of study, he saw the Baal Shem Tov sitting in the midst of the Hasidim, all of them singing and dancing in a circle, their faces filled with light and joy as they repeated the nigun, the melody, over and over again. And the Baal Shem Tov's face in particular was filled with a great inner radiance. And he wore this tremendous, blissful smile, this blissful grin that went from ear to ear. Looked like his face might even crack. It was just... And as he looked at the Baal Shem Tov, he knew he had met his teacher, because he'd met someone who lived in the sublime joy of the living presence of God. So the verse I want you to contemplate is Yud Aleph 11. Or zarur letzaddik u'leyishrei lev simcha. Light is sown for the righteous, in gladness or joy, really, for the upright in heart. Light and bliss are the experience of spiritual enlightenment. And they are the byword of those who have entered into this exalted state. Because when we experience God's presence, it fills us with great joy and light and love. Like we say, Az Yashir, right? When they came to the sea and they experienced the revelation of God's presence, then they broke out in song. And the Radomsker Rebbe tells us that it wasn't like, oh, let's sing a song, but the experience was so awesome and overpowering, it just, song burst out of them, because they were filled with a joy that they just simply could not contain. They were filled with the joy of the world to come. They were filled with light. At the same time, we feel that light and the joy. We're also given the gift of calm, and of stillness, peace. So you, on one hand, are in that place of peace, and in that peace, you're living in that profound joy. On to page, imagine 18, Psalm 98. And this Tehillim is all about a new song. Mizmor shir l'Adonai shir chadash ki niflaot asa. A psalm, O sing unto the eternal one a new song. For the Holy One of Israel has done marvelous things. Shout out to Yud-He Vav-He, all the earth. Break forth and sing for joy. Sing praises. Sing praises unto the Almighty with the harp and a melodic voice. With trumpets and the sound of the horn, shout before Adonai, the sovereign of sovereigns. Let the sea roar and the fullness thereof, the world and all those who dwell upon it. Let the rivers clap their hands. Let the mountains sing for joy together. Our encounter with God creates a radical transformation in our consciousness. This transformation shifts our perception of reality so that we see the world with new eyes. And this new vision awakens in us a great influx of creativity so that we burst forth in songs of praise and exaltation like someone crazily in love, their beloved. For now, we see that living God, divine beloved, wherever we turn our gaze. And everything awakens a new vision, a new song, a new understanding in our heart. On one hand, everything looks the same. On the other hand, everything is different. And that's how you know you've had a real encounter with the divine. Move on to the next psalm, Psalm 99. And here I want you to begin looking at verse 5, okay, verse 6, and then verse 9. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lahadrom raglav kadosh hu Moshe v'Aharon b'koronav u'Shmuel b'korei shemo korim el Adonai v'hu ya'anem Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lahar kadsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Exalt Adonai our God and prostrate yourself at the footstool of the Holy One. Moses and Aaron among the dedicated priesthood, and Samuel among them that call upon the divine name. They did call upon Yud, He, Vav, He. And the compassionate one answered them. Exalt Yud He Vav He our God, and worship at her holy hill. For Yud He Vav He our God is holy. To learn to be a caller of the name is to discover how to invoke the presence of God. Just as you will turn towards me when I call out your name. Imagine you're at the other end of a park, say 100 meters away, 50 meters away, let's not exaggerate. And I call out your name. If I call out with sincerity, with feeling, and loud enough for you to hear, you'll turn around towards me. And if I really call out from the depth of my heart, you'll come running in my direction. So the same thing occurs with God. We call out to God from the depth of our heart, then God turns towards us. At that moment, we touch the footstool of the infinite and ascend the holy mountain unto the eternal one of Yisrael.
Try it with us. השתחוו להר קודשו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו כי קדוש אדוני
So we're now on page 20. Psalm 29. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai bnei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kvod shmo, ishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadrat kodesh. Psalm of David. Ascribe unto the Most High, O children of the mighty. Ascribe unto the Blessed Holy One glory and strength. Ascribe unto the Supreme Being the glory due unto his or her ineffable name. Worship the boundless divine Spirit in the beauty of holiness. The voice of the immeasurable one is upon the waters. The God of glory thunders. The perpetual flow of divine love pours out upon many waters. The voice of the omniscient and omnipotent is powerful. The voice of the all-merciful is full of majesty. The voice of the Eternal One breaks the cedars, yea, the controller of all destinies breaks in pieces the cedars of Lebanon. The controller of all makes them to skip like a calf, Lebanon and Sirion like a young wild ox. The voice of Yud He Vav He hews out flames of fire. The voice of Yud He Vav He shakes the wilderness. The indescribable and unknowable one shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the creative power of the universe makes the hinds to calve and strips the forests bare. And yet, in the divine temple, all is still, and all proclaim glory, glory unto the Lord. The timeless and immutable one sat enthroned at the flood. Yea, the universal being sits as sovereign forever. The guardian of Israel will give strength unto his people, for the Holy One of Israel will bless our people with peace. The Midrash tells us that God created the world with 10 divine utterances. We all know that sound is energy, and vibration is the signature of all life. The 10 utterances, according to the Kabbalah, awoke the energies of the 10 sfirot, the 10 divine attributes that are the pattern that underlie the universe, and emanated their power into the evolving worlds. In this last psalm, we evoke the divine explosion of creativity through the imagery of the power that lies within the divine voice. B'Shem Hashem Elokei Hashem Roshi Shekhinah. Join me. Ve'al Roshi, Ve'al Roshi Shekhinah. 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 So L'chadodi is a prayer of yearning for the Shekhinah, for the feminine aspect of God, for the Divine Mother. That's the creative force that formed the universe. And in this prayer, the Shekhinah is portrayed in three central images. First image is the divine beloved, the Shabbat Kala. She's the Sabbath bride, beloved of God, beloved of the Jewish people. And in the vision of our mystics, she's dressed all in white, adorned with precious jewels, her face radiant and full of light as she comes to meet her beloved. This is our first image, holding her in her full radiance and beauty and joy. Second image is the royal sanctuary, Mikdash Melech, the holy temple. She's the house of God. She's the form that holds the divine spirit. She is the womb of the world. And in this image, we contemplate her as Mother Earth, how she nurtures and cares for all of us, and how we live and have our life and breathe within her being. The third image is the Shekhinah in exile, Shekhinta Begeluta. In this image, she's described as fallen into the dust, dwelling in the vale of tears, right? Ravlach Shevet be'emek habacha. Stripped of her beauty and her power, she's bewildered, ashamed, and confused. Lo tavoshi, lo tikalmi. And this is the Shekhinah in her lowest state, where she's alone, feeling lifeless, feeling disconnected both from God and from the world. And this image is obviously the Kabbalah's metaphor for the broken world that we see before us. The hatred, the suffering, the strife that mars our society, and the destruction that mars our planet. And these three images are all bound together in the Lachododi through our aspiration to raise up the Shekhinah into union with her divine spouse. We cry out, Hidori, awake, awake. Kumi Tzi'i, arise from the dust. Uri, Uri, awake from slumber. Be filled with vitality. Flow with spiritual power. Let the world be set aright. Let it be filled with peace and with harmony. Let the light of the divine presence shine forth across the globe, filling every heart, filling every mind. We'll begin in the third verse. On page 21. Migdash melech ir melucha kumitzi mitoch hafecha bavlach
Shabbat Malkata Lai 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 la lai 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 lai
So now we move into Mariv, the evening service. And Mariv, it'll be a short Mariv. Mariv begins with Baruch Hu. And Baruch Hu comes from bracha, from blessing. Bless the one who is blessed. Baruch Hu Adonai Vorach. In the Kabbalah, we're told that the word bracha is connected to the word brecha, a pool. And the Kabbalists teach that in the highest heaven, there's an infinite pool, spring, ocean of divine blessing, shefa. But normally that ocean is closed. You have to know how to open up the floodgates. And if you've ever seen, like we have a canal, there's that one gate you have to open to get the water to flow. So the Mekubalim say that you open that brecha to receive the bracha with the kavanah of your heart, with the devotion and the love of your heart for God. So actually, when we recite the Baruch Hu, we're really turning towards heaven and asking God to open up that floodgate with all our hearts, to let that divine light and blessing and joy and peace come flooding into our hearts and into our world. And then through the two brachot before the Shema, we turn to God and say, through all the changes and movement in our lives, that your love never leave us for all of eternity. Days come, days go, decades go. Centuries go, our lives come and go, worlds come and go. But God is with us. Her love is with us for eternity. And that's what we hold on to. And then we move into that place of the Shema. And the Shema is an affirmation of purpose for entering into silent communion with the infinite. The Shema, we attest to our faith in the oneness of all existence. We uphold the belief that everyone and everything is part of God. We abide in the truth that everything exists and the omnipotent and the omniscient. Everything comes from the same divine source. We declare our love for the Holy Blessed One, our commitment to express that love for the way in which we live our life. So let us all stand for the Baruch Hu.
Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam
Now, as we contemplate our own transience, all the changes, movement that takes place in our lives, in our world, let us hold on to that love that is eternal, that never fails. And that connects us to the oneness of all being and to the unity of our life as we recite the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך Hayam Shema Tishma Mitzvata Asher למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
Now we move on to the Vishamru. In the Talmud, we're told that God said to Moses, I have a great gift in my treasure house, and its name is Shabbat. And the peace and serenity of the Shabbat is a gift beyond measure. It is a sign, an oath of the eternal bond between God and the people of Israel. Shamru b'nei Yisrael em ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית Now we move into the Amida, silent prayer, an opportunity for quiet communion with the Eternal One, with our own deepest self. Shabbat Amida focuses on the personal encounter with the story of creation, and a plea to dwell within the peace and rest of the Shabbat in the fullness of heart and mind. We ask God to satiate us with the blessing of divine goodness and to purify our hearts to serve with utter sincerity. It is on page 35, A B, continues to page 38.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו say גדולה ליוסף בריחי שלא עשה כגויי הארצות ולא שמענו שנשרפות האדמה עלינו everybody say Aleinu, 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 Aleinu. בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
If you are in a period of mourning or have a yard site, please join in the Kaddish. Everyone else may be seated. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 52. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei. V'chayechon u'vyomechon u'vchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olomei maya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'riku. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushpechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran v'alma v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Please be seated. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We are doing some new kinds of programming around the idea of spirituality. So, shouldn't Judaism automatically be spiritual? The answer is yes, it should. And so we're trying to dig a little bit deeper. And so this weekend, Rabbi Yoel Glick is joining us. If you weren't at the dinner, he is with Da'at Elyon. Da'at Elyon is an organization that he began in Jerusalem how many years ago?
We've been there for 2 years, but I started it 20 years ago.
20 years ago. And he has written 2 books, and I'm going to show you copies of them right now. And somebody moved my
They're here.
books. But, oh,
They're here.
there they are. 2 books. One is Walking the Path of the Jewish Mystic. I think that's the more recent one. And the other is Living the Life in Jewish Meditation. As you can tell, it's quite dog-eared, and I use it all the time. And we use Rabbi Glick's teachings in our meditation groups very frequently. So tomorrow morning at 10:15, Rabbi Glick will be joining us in Weiner Chapel. There's also a regular service right here in this room. And Rabbi Gelman will be teaching instead of Rabbi Feinstein tomorrow morning. Rabbi's out of town. So Rabbi Gelman will be doing the teaching, the Torah study in Weiner Chapel beginning at 9 a.m. And immediately afterwards, we'll be with Rabbi Glick, and we'll be doing a couple hours of actually meditation tomorrow morning. Am I right? Can you give us a little Vorspice?
I will be working with various levels of techniques that bring us into a meditative state of consciousness, connect us to our deepest self. And all of it will be in the framework of Tfilat Shachar.
There's the mic right there. Yeah.
You want now? Okay, it's on now. So we'll be doing the Tfilah as a sort of framework of Shachrit. But each part of Shachrit will be another level of meditation. We'll begin really with sort of what we call singing, chanting, as part of Psuke de Zimra, the chants of God's praises. And then we'll be moving on to some breathing. Part of the Tehillim, Kol Hanshama Tehalel Yah, that everything that has breath, let it praise God. We'll connect and use that breath to take us to that place of praising God and connecting with the divine presence within ourselves and within the world around us. Then we'll be contemplating the Shema, looking at what do those words mean and where are they meant to take us. This prayer that's at the center of all of Judaism. What was Moshe Rabbeinu trying to tell us? I'll give you a hint. What? Began with Abraham, with Avraham. And he didn't just wake up one morning and think it all out and decide, oh, there's one God, but he had a profound experience of the oneness of all being. And that experience is why his revelation started a revolution in the world that brought into our religion and our sister religions the awareness of what we call monotheism, which is the awareness of the oneness of all being and all life. And then we'll move into a visualization, a meditation based on a section of the Shemona Esrei, and seeing how we use imagery to break us out of our normal state of consciousness and take us into a whole other level of being that we only don't touch. Really how we move out of our finite mind and touch that which is infinite and eternal. And then we'll take a little journey into the Yud Hey Vav Hey and understand what it means to contemplate Havaya, the pure being that underlies all of existence. And then we'll end by sitting in the presence of the light of God's countenance and feeling the blessing of peace that comes through when we can hold that place together.
Beautiful. Let's sing the song that we didn't sing earlier, that we usually sing at the beginning, instead of Adon Olam, to reflect what the rabbi's words were. And let's all rise. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Shabbat shalom, everyone, and have a good